Hello, my name is Krista Douglas, and today I will be showing you stretching techniques within the lower posterior chain along with hip flexors. Here we will be stretching the lower half posterior chain, which includes your proximal hamstring, your distal hamstring, along with your calf. So I cross my leg over her neutral leg to stabilize her, and then I push down on her hamstring to stretch her proximal hamstring out. And then in the next stretch, we will be stretching the distal hamstring. So we will fully extend her leg. And then at the very end, you push down on her foot for dorsiflexion. And then here we are just going to do the other side. So once again, I am going to push down for her stretch her proximal hamstring. And then when I extend her leg, it's going to stretch her distal hamstring. And then dorsiflexion will be me pushing down on her toes to stretch her calf. Here, just by grabbing your ankle and pulling it back towards you, you are stretching your rectus femoris. And then here's the other side. This does fall under your hip flexors category of being stretched. And this also falls under your hip flexors as well. This is your iliopsoas, and you're just going into a lunge position and dropping that knee down just so you can fully stretch your hip flexors along with your iliopsoas. So to briefly go over everything we saw in this video today, we started off with the lower half posterior chain where we stretched the proximal hamstring, the distal hamstring, and the calf muscle. So in order for me to do the proximal hamstring, she needs to be laying in a supine position. And when she bent her knee into a flex position, I pushed her thigh down, and that was stretching her proximal hamstring. And then in order for me to stretch her distal hamstring, I had to fully extend her knee and push backwards as well. And then finally, to stretch your calf muscle is when I pulled her foot down towards her while her leg was fully extended, which made dorsiflexion, and that stretched her calf muscle. So for the rectus femoris stretch is when I grabbed my foot by the ankle and I pulled it towards me, towards the back side of me. That was stretching my hip flexors along with my rectus femoris, and that helps create flexibility within the hip flexors, as well as the iliopsoas stretch where we were in a lunge. That opens up your hip flexors a lot and it stretches that as well. It feels better and it stretches more the more you drop your knee down to the floor without putting pressure on it. But that was my video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. That is all.